Ward gets us underway. Madison with the start for Brisbane. Down for Billy Moore, who came on and played so strongly, especially in the second half against Manly. And that performance earned him back his old lock spot.
And this is the classic confrontation, the pace and ball movement of Brisbane up against the toughness and intensity of North Sydney.
Fennick out near the 22. Adrian Toole. Plenty of enthusiasm in defence from the Broncos. Up quickly. Jarvis not expecting the ball. Quick hands from home. Kevin Walters. They had a chance of an overlap, but the defence cut it off with Walters. Now Hancock out in the middle of the paddock looking for the ball. Good quick turnover for Brisbane. Kevin Walters sending it down the blind side for Alan Cann. Kevin Walters stays down the short blind. No support for him. Langer with a big back line out to the left. He goes wide to Kevin Walters. Stepping beautifully, Morganson. Morganson had Hoff with him. He decided to go alone. Hoff was in a better position. Another switch. Langer now overlap. They've got to draw the man. Madison outside Les Kiss. Back for Willie Kahn. Kahn steps out of one, and on the last desperate North Sydney defence, the Broncos nearly came up with the early try. Martin gets it to Halligan off his wing. He wants to bring it along, away from their line once more. Florimo. Billy Moore. Bit of galloping room. Big shoulder charge coming in from Andrew G. Now Eddie Ward said there was too much in the tackle. G will come back for a chat to Ward. He's had to blow the whistle a second time to get the attention of G. First up, it was a shoulder charge. And then no need for the second and late tackle. Now he's got 10 minutes in the bin. Maybe there might have been a little bit of disrespect there for the referee. It certainly got Eddie Ward riled.
And the one thing we've all learned over many years of following and commentating rugby league is that you can never beat the man with a whistle.
Even after the game, if you're a coach, Bill.
That's right.
Unless you've got more than 10,000. Jarvis. Jarvis gets upended. Fennick. First time Norths have got it away from their own side of halfway. Adrian Toole. The second best defensive record in first grade. The Bears. As Martin kicks in behind the defence of Brisbane. They get a scrum that'll pack about 15 metres out from the Brisbane line.
And Andrew G, Graham, is one player that the Broncos really will miss in these tough early exchanges. He's a workaholic. He does an enormous amount of work in both attack and defence, so it'll remain to be seen whether they can handle it without him.
Well, Tony Ray does the trick here against the feed. David Hall stepping out amongst the backs. Florimo to dummy half. Across Martin for Peter Jackson to Florimo. Now Martin. Quickly, they go wide to the left. Adrian Toole right in front of the post, 9 metres away. Another switch. Jackson. Back over his head to Halligan. But the ball was forward, said Ward. So Jackson already showing his importance to this North Sydney side in the early exchanges.
Brisbane got themselves into some trouble here when they lost a scrum against the head, but good defence was able to get them out of it.
Off. 0-0 Brisbane and Norths here at Lang Park. Renouf. Good head-on defence from Larson. Now, he has obviously told Larson to leave him alone to play the ball. About 2 minutes left in the bin for Andrew G. No score, Brisbane and Norths. Gilmester.
5 forwards that Andrew G left there to carry the workload. They're going to expect him to do more than his share when he gets back.
I'm sure someone will give him a gentle reminder. Can stepping beautifully.
He was a player who, when he came to the Brisbane Broncos, Wayne Bennett had big hopes for him. He was an absolute superstar in the juniors, but he's taken a while to blossom.
Beautifully taken by Hoff, who took the chance with the chip and chase. Couple of big strides, and he took it on the full. Langer now with a roll for the Broncos. Madison, Kevin Walters, great hands. Gelmeister trapped just outside the 22. Both sides giving this ball plenty of air. Langer, little grabber kick. Langer pushed Billy Moore out of the way. Probably should have been a penalty to North Sydney. Langer put the grubber kick through. He was chasing after it. Moore was in his way, got the shove in the back. That should have been a penalty.
I don't think Billy Moore knew that he was there, even though he was trying to cover up. That would have been tough for Ward to give a penalty on that one.
Well, he wasn't in possession, and he was just protecting the ball, which he was entitled to do.
But he didn't know where the runners were coming from.
He doesn't have to get out of anybody's way.
Exactly.
Last tackle. Hoff will turn and chase this one 10 metres out from his own line. Plenty of excitement in the air every time he touches. Kevin Walters quickly to Hancock. Hancock running into some of the best form of the season for him. Tries have been aplenty for him on the board. And he must have been very close to getting into that third test team for Australia. He was done out of it by a teammate, Willie Kahn. Home. Gee, just counting the seconds now. Langer. Short ball for Madison. One more tackle for Brisbane right on halfway, right in midfield. Madison will have a real problem to get to his feet. Langer. Little chip for Kevin Walters. What a bounce. There's support inside if he hears. He does. Langer. Kevin Walters. Magnificent. Oh, super try. Great skills. That's what it's all about. Breaking up a defence. There was a remarkable bounce of the ball, but it was laid on by Langer. Miss and replay. Kevin Walters just waited for it. He got the bounce. He heard the call. Langer back on the inside. Then Kevin Walters. He was going to outspeed everybody right between the posts.
Brisbane can strike from anywhere in any number of ways. Now have a look at this. Firstly, the little Langer chip over the top. That was a planned play. Kevin Walters knew it was coming. Now he threw the dummy there, looked for support. The man that kicked it was there. Gets it back to Kevin Walters. That's good play from a dummy half to back up down the centre of the field and cross under the uprights.
If you can believe it, it remains at no goals for Hancock. Brisbane 4, Norths 0. Langer straight away gives it to Kahn. G is back into the action. And straight away up the middle with a good run.
The mail on Terry Madison, Graham, is that he has a cork thigh, so I don't know how that will affect his performance as far as goal kicking goes if he can get back on the paddock.
Well, if they can't get him back quickly, he won't be warm enough to stay loose with it, because that's one that'll seize up on him, Wayne, won't it?
Yeah, certainly. That's the problem that afflicted Mario Fennick last week, so he couldn't get back on the paddock and prove his worth, so it'll be difficult for Terry Madison to get back out there as well.
That gives them a nice headache after that attempted kick a goal from right in front from Hancock that missed.
I'd say that as a goal kicker, Michael Hancock is a great winger.
That'll get back to him. North's come back to the 22 with his restart. Florimo. Both sides very keen, as we keep saying, to shift this ball to the wings.
Well, if there's been a criticism of Norths this season, and no one doubts their tenacity in their defence, but they haven't been able to score points, but a lot of movement here.
Some good passing and backing up. Halligan plays it back for Ray, who stays on a very short blind to Jarvis, who makes good ground. Very close to the sideline. Jason Martin, wide ball. Jackson misses a man. Bounces nicely for David Hall. He can't get away from the defence, though. Kiss. He has a thigh heavily strapped as well. Jackson. He shaped a kick, changed his mind, kept the ball alive on the last. Now it's the handover back for Brisbane. Willie Kahn stepping, trying to find a gap on the fringe amongst the forwards. 3 times they've met here at Lang Park since 1988 and the Broncos' appearance in the Winfield Cup, of course. The Broncos won in 88 24-6 here. They won 30-0 in 89, but it was Norths who won 14-12 here last year.
And now that the rep season's over, all the sides in the Winfield Cup go back to full strength, and we've got 3 nail-biting weeks to the semi-finals, and we're going to be there all the way.
That was a Friday nighter last year when the Bears got away with the Broncos by 2. (4-0). Just the 1 try for Brisbane as Langer finds some room to get the kick in and put it down to Kiss. He's driven backwards by the defence of Kerrod Walters and also Andrew G. Jason Martin. Quickly they go wide. Scotty Wilson into the front line. 2. Bouncing 1 out of the way. That was Can. Jason Martin. Jackson looking to go wide, but Gill missed it.
Welcome back to Lang Park.
A very big welcome. Penalty goes against Gilmeister. For too much involvement in the play of the ball. Big tackle it was that he put on Jackson. And then they just wouldn't let go, and there was hands chasing the ball as he was trying to play it quickly. 60.92% in the Winfield Cup of 91. Nearly in line with the posts, but some distance out. He's more than happy with it. He was headed back. Touch judges didn't have to move very much. They're on the board. Brisbane 4, Norths 2. The restart by Julian O'Neill. Out there for Madison. Kiss. It really is a different license in the modern game for wingers, Bill, isn't it? The work they get through.
They've got to come back and early in the tackle count, because they're the first players back there after kicks and kickoffs, and from scrums they're the first ones that need to do the hard work. They just can't wait out on the wing any longer and expect the ball to come to them. They've got to get the hard yards early.
The hard yards here again for Adrian Toole. He's more accustomed to it in the front row. Jason Martin wasn't happy. There was pressure on him, but he got it to Wilson, and there was a ton of pressure on him, but he handled it. But not such a good kick from him, although he gets it back. He looked as though he made a meal of it, and then Mark Hone put it down. Martin ducking, trying to find a gap up the middle. Larson. Eddie Ward had played the advantage. He's got Brisbane inside the 5.
And Alan Langer appealed, "We were standing back where you were."
Halligan.
But they weren't.
Halligan had a quick look at the posts, but he decided he was too far out. There's the call from the skipper, Ray, to put it to the sideline. Florimo flies onto it. Florimo will play it only 5 metres away. Martin. Billy Moore changing direction. 10 metres out. Eddie Ward has the Broncos back on the try line. Larson with a good surge to only a couple of metres away. Martin. Jackson. Jackson keeping the ball out in front. Great skills with the hands. They said it all week long about the danger man to them, and it's come home to roost. It's come home to hurt them. Jackson kept it alive beautifully for this try. They just couldn't shut him down, and he unloads beautifully for Scotty Wilson. Just watch the way he puts the defence off on the Nissan replay. He gave them something to think about. Great ball out the back for Wilson.
Peter Jackson's so important to this Brisbane side because when he's got the ball in his hand, he's got so many options. He faked inside, got it back on the outside to Scott Wilson.
That's his look at the post. He will be trying to bring it around from the right, although he has a slight breeze coming from the left. That breeze will hold it out there. Just not enough. He was around the money, as you said. But they grabbed the lead, North Sydney, 6-4 over Brisbane. The Broncos, the last round of the Winfield Cup, of course, 40-16 winners over Parramatta. And Wayne Bennett and Gene Miles probably ruining the form that they're now starting to show towards the end of this season. Whilst North Sydney was shut out last week by Manly at Bear Park in front of that record crowd of 22,000, 15-0. Dowling out there off the bench. And G goes back. Billy Moore.
What Brisbane have got to do is a better job of keeping Norths down this end of the field. It's been a bit too easy for the Bears. They've been playing out 5, putting a good kick and pinning Brisbane back in their own half. They can't afford that.
There's the charge down. In fact, Andrew G is still out there. Alan Cann is the man that's gone off. The Bears have won 4 from 9 when they've travelled away from Bear Park this year. The Broncos 5 from 8 at home. Normally in past seasons it's been something like 7 out of 8 at this stage, so that's what's probably cost them. And looking at the semis. Here's G now. Hone. Last tackle against the Broncos. Langer is extra wide. Walters keen to run it. Why not to Julian O'Neill? He can't unload. It'll be a handover right in front of the posts. So the Bears are being stretched. Everybody knows all about this semi-final run now with only 3 rounds remaining in the Winfield Cup. And that's exactly the case, of course, on Sunday. Great run from Florimo. St George at home to Manly on our MMI big game, 6:30 to 8:30, all that action. Don't miss it. Adrian Toole. Of course, it's Manly and also St George sweating on the Bears to go down here. Hoff. He's got 4 defenders in front of him. He tries to go to the outside of Les Kiss. 56 tackles. They lead in the possession stakes, the Bears. And they just have it too, also by 8. In the opposition half, Renouf taken from behind by Florimo. Hancock away from Fennick. Not away from the big front row combination of Jarvis and Toole. And Florimo is down injured. So it's a 12-man lineup for the moment for North Sydney. O'Neill with the kick.
That's a better kicking game now that he's on the field.
Now that ball was trapped by Wilson, the crowd feeling that it was trapped and knocked forward. Interesting, that was an awkward bounce, and I think it was a knock-on, no doubt. So the crowd were probably right in that occasion. Scrum and feed should have gone to Brisbane. Difficult one to call. Jarvis. Jackson. The radar at this ground that's been the favourite of his was nowhere near good enough on this occasion. Nearly up into the crowd. O'Neill. Florimo still not well down near the Broncos 22 as Andrew G hits it up.
Well, they're under siege. They've either got to get him off and get someone on or get him back in the defensive line.
And that line is short as Renouf gets through. It's too late to bring Florino back now. His opposite has stolen a mark with him not there. Magnificent slicing run from Renouf. Kerrod Walters on the Nissan replay just brings him inside. He beats one, says goodnight to a second in Jason Martin, and stands up the fullback. Make it a hat-trick of defenders. He ends up with 4 points.
Brisbane at their best here, the ability to keep the ball alive, but after they'd done that, it was just a magnificent individual effort by Renouf. Now here's Walters on the run around, gets the pass back inside to Renouf. He beat one there, beat Jason Martin, the second man across, beat Wilson, the third man across, set his sights on the try line and crossed.
He doesn't make a mistake, though. He gets his name into the goal-kicking books this year. 10-6, Brisbane over Norths. And Greg Florimo has rejoined this North Sydney lineup after a quick check with the doctor. They were thinking of putting him into the headbend. But he's cleared all the senses.
And the question you always ask when a try scored like that is if the man had been in the line, would he have scored?
Well, that's probably answered by the fact that Jason Martin had dropped back in cover defence, leaving them only 11 up in the front line.
That makes it that much harder, doesn't it?
Well, somebody didn't read the fact that somebody was short. Kevin Walters up the middle. Last tackle. The kick from Julian O'Neill is down on the first bounce for Wilson. There's Kiss, chased by his opposite Willie Kahn. The Broncos, one gets the feeling Wayne are starting to get the advantage.
Yeah, they are. North Sydney have made a few errors in this match, and last week that was their big problem. You've got to start asking the question of can they handle the pressure of these big matches?
Well, they've got to learn they're only 3 weeks away from semi-final time. Jackson with the kick. Straight to Hoff. Not what he was hoping to do. And Hoff does some damage. Plenty of damage. Hancock. Jackson showing the sideline. He beats him. Beats Martin. He's got support. Kevin Walters caught from behind. North's in a whole heap of trouble. Thousands of fans try and regain their seats as Dowling puts Renouf through. Just short. It looked like it was going to be a double for him. Somebody's in the bin. Fenix got 10 minutes. He laid all over him. His side was in trouble. They tried to slow the play down. It'll be interesting to see if the Broncos go to the sideline here or look for a goal.
I think they'll take the tab or put the ball out, Graham. They won't kick for goal here. They're on the roll, and North Sydney down to 12 men.
Now Langer very quickly tried to make those North forwards think he was taking a tap. Now he gets some room back away from the line to set play up. Dowling, head down, 5 metres away. They have a blind side where Langer is waiting. They stay on an open, and it's Andrew G. But now it's both sides. Plenty of room to move. Kevin Walters looking for dummy runners. They've got them short if they can work it. Home to Julian O'Neill. Halligan had to come off his wing. O'Neill still going. Straight up the middle. He nearly got through under the posts. Norths are just hanging on. Langer inside to Kevin Walters. Kevin Walters looking to keep it alive. He gets it back for brother Kerrod. Now to Dowling. 10 metres out from the Norths line. They've hung on to the 6th tackle. Langer once more. Dummying, running clear. He gets it to Kevin Walters. This is a great firm. Alan Langer has done it again. He and Walters laid on the chip and chase try. Now they get together and Walters gets 4 for himself. Just keep your eye on Langer. Nissan replay. They waited to the last and they kept it alive magnificently. He's a little man, Langer, but he made 3 defenders think about it and he still stood in the tackle to give it to Kevin Walters.
The Langer trademark is this big step off the left foot. Watch him here. There's the step. That got him back inside the first defender. He's built up a great combination over the years with the other little man, Kevin Walters, who goes in and finishes it off. What a try. All the time in the world.
How many times has that happened this year for a lot of teams that have paid the penalty to somebody that has spent time off the field? O'Neill from right in front. It's another full complement of points from the try, and the Broncos 16-6 over the Bears. North Sydney come back to halfway. Now Fennick was in the bin because he laid all over. Now Bronco trying to get to his feet, the player. It was Renouf who nearly scored. And Fennick just laid all over him. He was not going to get off too quickly because they were in trouble, North Sydney.
He's in trouble with the coach now.
12 metres out from their own line this time, the Broncos. Gilmester up the middle. They're getting to that advantage line pretty easily.
And he's the man that's doing most of the damage.
Dowling takes over. Stepping up the middle, Julian O'Neill. The one man who'll be enjoying this would be the Broncos club skipper, Gene Miles, who was out injured. He's sidelined now with Wayne Pearce.
Well, Gino, it looks as though you're still entertaining, or the way the side's going, it looks as though you're entertaining the thought of making the semis.
Yes, mate. We, that's still right at the back of our lines. There's still long odds, but
We'll come back to Gene Miles as Morganson. He beats Scott Wilson, and he gets a try. Oh, out of nothing. But Michael Hancock just showed his amazing strength for a wingman. He kept his knees going. He kept powering through the defence, and he pops up this ball. First off on the Nissan replay, Langer. He got it started on the blind there for Hancock. He beat one. He threw away a second and a third. He made a fourth defender battle. Morganson took one look at Scotty Wilson and said there's room on the inside. We're away for another one.
The thing about Brisbane is they're prepared to try things from anywhere on the field, but what you've got to look at here is some pretty poor defence by Norths. Now, tackle after tackle was missed. Eventually, Morganson got the ball from an inside pass. There he showed some superb footwork. That is brilliant play from the youngster.
Bringing it around, but just too much. Very impressive first 40 minutes here for Brisbane. It is 20-6 over Norths, and all the Broncos will go in there. No wonder Gene Miles raced off to have a yarn to this side. They're on fire. The fans are on their feet. Renouf's got a try, but so have plenty of his Brisbane teammates in an entertaining first 40. Don't go away. We'll be back at Lang Park right after this.
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Are you ready to fly?
We have liftoff! You have no idea what loss is.
Can you believe what you're seeing?
Wow. I'm going to build something better, wilder.
Toyota certified, pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
If you want to bowl faster tomorrow, you need sports nutrition you can trust today. INT Sports Nutrition is banned substance tested and Informed Sports certified. INT Sports Nutrition, powering tomorrow, today.
Unleash the play in you. It's nerve or nothing.
Julio bought cheap car insurance with cheap accident repair. Don't risk bargain regret. Next time join the A-Team, hey Julio. Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does.
100% Aussie Angus beef, melty cheese, chunky tomato relish, lettuce and a nice slice of beetroot. 2 words, my friends. Aussie as.
When you escape the city, you find adventure. Prepare to be moved. The all-new Nissan X-Trail.
Now, North Sydney will need Fennick at his best in the second half. He's still got 4 minutes in the bin. He led the tackles in the first 40 minutes, but he's still missing. And that was costly, Bill, that stint in the bin.
Very costly. I'm sure that he would have incurred the wrath of Steve Martin. It was a mistake that left them a man down. Brisbane capitalised and put points on the board.
Billy Moore gets to his feet. Jason Martin. The Bears needing tries and plenty of them. Right on the 22. Tony Ray looking to the right, switching left for Larson, who was hammered in defence by Gilmister. Slowly to his feet. Now Jarvis up the middle. No way through for him. 12 metres away from the Broncos try line. Martin looks to Jackson. To David Hall on the run around. Bad pass from Jackson. And a fumble from Halligan. So a sloppy start for the Bears. It was an awkward one for Jackson, who got caught on the wrong side trying to pass from behind his hip. And it wasn't a good ball. Awful ball to Florimo. And Halligan coughed it up. Hancock surging onto the ball. Taps it, goes ahead. Now he's going to penalise Jason Martin, I think it is. He said that Martin was too late on the scene as a marker.
Second half starting the same way the first half finished, and that's with Brisbane playing with a lot more urgency than the Bears.
Difficult pass, well taken by Alan Cann. Now it's on the last. Langer, the danger man. But they go without him. Dowling to Kerrod Walters. He was looking for his 4th try of the season, but he lost it into the end goal. Knock on in that area. It'll be back to the 22, the advantage for North. This is how close it was. Dowling got it down to Walters. Desperate defence on the line. Billy Moore and also Wilson was there.
You can see from the way Brisbane are playing how many questions they put to the opposition defence. They make you think all the time. If you're dishonest, you pay.
Good run from Adrian Toole towards halfway. Fennick.
And David Alexander's on the field replacing Pat Jarvis.
With the last change as North try and get things started. Billy Moore. Alexander was looking for a touch, but David Hall went from dummy half. Martin. Charge down from Willie Kahn. He might win the race. He'll tap it ahead. No, he went the safe option. Now, I wonder if he realised he was taking on a hooker. If he had put a foot to that, he probably would have won the race to the end goal.
It was a foot race, and he'd pushed clear, Graham. I'm sure you're right. He didn't realise who he was taking on.
Now Kiss there to help the forwards. Behind Alexander to Fennick. To Hall. Not a lot of handling mistakes. 5-4 against the Broncos. Billy. Last tackle against Norths. Martin. Hoff just grabs it before the line.
He's the only player that can be on the 10-yard line and reach out and pick the ball up next to the touchline.
Hancock. The front cover of Big League this week probably said it all. Crunch time for the Big Six, looking for 5 spots. And of course North Sydney in a lot of trouble. Plenty of good reading in the Big League available all grounds this weekend, as well as news agencies look for it. Nice story too about Will Robinson, Will Starr, a young man going places for Balmain in their resurgence to form. Langer to Hoff, who's in the line. Last tackle against Brisbane. Langer kicks it well away from Wilson. This will be a big ask if it stays in the end goal. Halligan. So the North's forwards have been busy the last 5 or 6 minutes bringing it away from their line. They'll have to go back and do the job again. Wilson dragged back by Alan Cann. They're playing inspiring football, Brisbane.
There's too much enthusiasm. They're just too keen at the moment.
Inspiring run from Florimo. He's trying to lift his side. Kiss. Sure, the messages will be getting out there in a big hurry from Steve Martin. But this match here tonight for North might just have the 1991 season rolling on it.
Well, I'm not prepared to say that a loss here tonight's going to be the end of the year for them, but it's going to make it a whole lot tougher.
Off. And they're inside the 10 metres.
And that was a replacement player, Craig Wilson, who's just got on the paddock for Billy Moore.
Thank you, Wayne. Well, it does become difficult as far as the season's concerned when you think they've got to line up against St George next round at Cockburn.
And St George going along so well, but they've got their work cut out themselves in our MMI big game on Sunday.
Out towards halfway. Dowling. Andrew G has it. Now Gilmister. Dummy, then ducked, and still got a ball away. Karen Wallace set sail. He really made them stretch. Morganson to Hoff. Hoff, he might just stretch out, he does. The Bears better wake up. Hibernation time's over. Brisbane are on fire. Langer concerned for Hoff, who took on 2 and 3 defenders on the Nissan replay and just eased over.
The missed tackle count for the Bears is going to be astronomical at the end of this game. Here, Hoff gets short, but he's so tall, he's able to reach out easily and get there.
Yeah, he's a very tough man to contain, Paul Hoff, because not only has he got a big step, but he's got a big fend. Just ask Les Kiss, and he goes over for what turned out to be quite an easy try.
He looks like he might have this one on a string. Right down the middle. The fans up north are loving every minute of it. 26-6.
Graham, it's been a real problem for North Sydney. Has been the fact that they get gun-shy when they get down in the opposition's half. In fact, inside the opposition's 22, they seem to face a force field of some sort. And it's something that Steve Martin, I'm sure, is working on. It's something that they'll need to rectify if they expect to go anywhere near a grand final.
So right about that, now it's Langer. When there's a chance of a try, he's had a hand in so many. Morganson will have Langer inside. Jackson sweating on him, though. And he pushes him over the sideline. Langer exchanging pleasantries with his State of Origin teammate. Morganson got away. Langer couldn't shake Jackson, though. He knew he was right over his shoulder. He said, come here, Alf.
There's no doubt about Brisbane. When they're hot, and they're on fire here tonight.
Makes you think, doesn't it, Bill? And they're on fire without Miles. There's no Chris Johns.
Well, a lot of it's got to do with the rep season. You know, they've come out of that season now. They've got their players back. Their players are fresh. They're not playing 2 games a week. There's a lot of urgency, and they do play better here at Lang Park. So all of those things combined together to say that they were going to give a good performance tonight, but they've backed it up out on the track.
Larson. He's been doing a lot of work tonight, Larson. Martin, Jackson, showed it, then beat 2 men and got a good ball away, but Eddie Ward got in the road of Florimo. That'll be a scrum. He got in the way here, and Florimo was looking dangerous, and he takes it to bang.
Referees might have to start wearing mouth guards and shoulder pads after that one. That was a pretty solid knock from Greg Florimo.
Off. Last tackle. Langer with the midfield bomb. Pressure for Wilson. He had 3 Broncos climb above him. but I think they might have got in each other's way. They spilled it.
Scott Wilson, you're just about on your own here. There are some North Sydney jumpers there to help you, but plenty of Broncos, and it was only a fumble by Renouf that stopped the try.
Fulliger. Now Toole. Martin. Wilson, the replacement player. Halligan, no chances for him out on the wing. Switching back to Martin and Jackson. He slips. Last tackle against Norths. Florimo. A little chip, but beautifully taken by Morganson.
Yeah, brilliant reflexes this by Morganson.
Willie Kahn.
Have a look at this, the little kick over the top. Now, he didn't have time to think about that. That was just intuition.
Dowling head down. Norths are inside the 5. They'll be penalised. 26-6. Kieran Walters getting it to Dowling. 5 metres out. Alan Can. The defence went across the paddock with him. Kevin Walters, a dummy half. Bad pass. Picked up easily by Renouf. He gets another one. That was awful defence. But it's like cricket. You don't run on Nissan replay, and the defence just seemed to look at the loose pass. An awful attempt from Florimo, and Renouf got his easiest try of the year.
This is the story of the game. Now, have a look at Florimo. That's just about an air swing in defence there on Renouf. He capitalised on it, didn't have far to go, and plants it down.
Nice hush around Lang Park as O'Neill settles for this kick. It might be followed by a roar. It won't be. But it is all the Broncos in a huge upset. They might have been favourite, but not by this scoreline, 30-6. Morganson.
He's a young player who nature's been good to. He's got some terrific gifts.
Renouf's away again. Kahn's inside. Morganson was outside. He stayed with the ball. Now he copped a knock across the head as well as he went under the tackle of Wilson. He looked to Morganson. Well, in fact, his head just hit the ground. And he's saying, well, he might be saying, I am off to the bin. How many fingers was it, said the trainer. As he scored.
He does have to go to the head, Ben. It's been a job well done tonight. I think he deserves an early mark.
Garrett Walters. Langer.
He is playing with them.
He just kept it alive for the outside men easily. Last tackle. Langer. He's going to bob away to Scott Wilson. He's got support from Jason Martin. He still popped it back. Langer's got it. 6 more. No. Knock-ons both ways. Very interesting call. Ball coming down for Wilson. He knocked it behind him. Now we come out for a try to Morganson. Very quick scrum feed for Brisbane, and another bad defence on a blind side by North Sydney. So North's back to where they were just a few moments ago in the end goal, much to the delight of the Broncos fans. Nissan replay. Shows us Morganson just climbing over after that quick scrum feed. So 2 tries in 4 minutes. Three from 5 for O'Neill. Four from 6. The Broncos by 30 points over the Bears. It is certainly something to dance about, or to hoof about. He doesn't look too happy. He should be. Wayne Bennett, the Broncos coach.
And then you couldn't describe this any other way but a morale-destroying defeat for the Bears. Now, if they'd have gone away from Lang Park having lost the game but still having been able to hold their head up, they could come back and recover next week, but they're going to find that really, really hard now to come back from.
The disappointment shows for their coach, Steve Martin. And maybe not the week for Jason Martin to join the music industry and release a record called Taking It to the Top.
It's not an appropriate title, is it, the way they performed?
The Bears players will be starting to ask themselves questions after this match. Really, can they make the semis? Can they do anything from here? That's the big problem.
And your answer?
Well, based on tonight's performance, I can't see them as grand finalists.
It has been a good season for them, but they only lost their first match at home last week. But now, all of a sudden, St George the following week after this one. Kiss. Tripped as he tried to make his first few steps. Only on the injured bench there, Paul Conlon. And also Fairley. Martin tries to duck under the defence. Interesting tussle too, because Steve Martin has showed his hands a couple of times this year as far as bringing Mark Soden up into the number 7 role.
He picks purely on performances, and what he'll have to do here is compare his reserve grade performances to what's happened here in the top grade. And the reserve grade did have a win.
And that includes the likes of Phil Blake, of course. A handover for the Broncos. More possession. They have been doing a ton with it. Right away, Julian O'Neill.
And he's a player that's really impressed me tonight. He's only 18 years of age. He's represented the Australian schoolboys back in '89 with Brad Fittler, Jason Taylor and company, but he's a player that's got a huge future.
The owner of a try that would probably be argued as one of the tries of the year. Individual tries, that is, this year. I think it was against St George here at Lang Park.
Yeah, a super try it was, and when you take into consideration that he missed the early matches of the season with a shoulder problem, he's come along leaps and bounds.
Hancock. 128 tackles, the possession overall for Brisbane. Hancock! He gets it to Kerrod Walters. It was touched, but Renouf will get a hat-trick. He was knocked dizzy only a few moments ago, but he's all smiles now as he gets 3 against the Bears. It started with another Michael Hancock break on the Nissan replay. Kerrod Walters backing up beautifully, then to Renouf, and Renouf with an open try line to make it the big hat-trick.
When Brisbane are in this mood, they're just about unstoppable. It started with Michael Hancock. He blasted through a couple of flimsy tackles. Then the pass back over the top from Kerrod Walters. That was super skills, and Renouf once again in position to do the business.
The scoreline does not become any more embarrassing, but it is 40 points to 6, Brisbane over Norths. Greg Dowling will be forgiven this little error Late in the game, he has allowed a little chuckle to himself. The front row was back deep for the kickoff, but he couldn't pick it up around the ankles. Norths with the scrum feed. They haven't improved their mark since half-time. They were down 20-6. So a shutout in the second half. Awful pass here to Morganson for the intercept to Khan now. Kevin Walters. Gilmester. Reminder about Sunday, the MMI big game, St George and Manly. 2 hours of action coming your way, as both those sides will be interested. Tonight looking on, North Sydney is the loser. It's really opening up the top three now.
I thought it was going to get more easy to start and pick who the semi-finalists would be as the weeks went on, but it's becoming more confusing after this.
To his feet. Martin to Florimer. They're still trying to put their attack in order. Well, the defence has been the big problem. A massive problem, and 28 missed tackles. Fennick back to Toole. Last tackle. Jason Martin waits it for David Hall, I should say, to chase. Langer was there with Khan and also Hoff. Getting late in the season, and tonight one of maybe our last few trips out of Sydney, with our thanks to Ansett, the #1 airline in the business, who have looked after us so well this season. And so many trips, not just to Brisbane, of course all round Australia. Our travels on this and Friday nighters that have taken us to Darwin, to Adelaide, to Perth, some great nights. I thank to Paul Donovan, the general manager back in Sydney, for all his help and assistance throughout the season. Last tackle. The deep kick from Julian O'Neill, straight to Wilson. Easily picked off by Andrew G. Now Halligan.
Well done.
Martin. With performances like this, Bill, it must make so many in the Brisbane camp think about just one game, one win somewhere, the 2 Winfield Cup points that would have meant the extra bit of business to put them in contention. Now, here's a problem with Mario Fennick knocked out again. Now, some thought he may not have or should not have kept playing in recent weeks. He certainly caught one across the eyes here from Gilmester. Right across the temple, it appeared to hit him. Bang! And this is the third time in, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks that Fennick will be headed for the headband.
I think that was just bad luck, Graham. I mean, that could have knocked out the freshest of players.
Well, this game's gone and he's staying on the field. If I was the coach, I'd be getting him straight off.
Well, there's no doubt the tackle was high. So let's not hide from the fact that you've got to tackle below the shoulders. But Fennick to his feet to rejoin the scrum. And that makes it even more difficult for him, knowing that the scoreline is so big against the Bears. Only about 4 minutes remaining. Hone.
When Brisbane have got you on the ropes, they do know how to rub it in.
Julian O'Neill. Doesn't matter where they are still thinking about try time too, even down here.
Well, their whole philosophy is attack, attack, attack.
And good support play even in the forwards. Dowling with some space. Martin had to climb high on his shoulders to try and put him down. Last tackle. Kevin Walters running it on the last. This has brought them tries tonight. Beautiful ball play. Renouf will get full. That is incredible. They took another gamble. They took some more gambles on Magic. And a magic night for this man. Nissan replay. Kevin Walters, who was under an injury cloud with a back injury this week. Beautiful hands back to Renouf. And he is heading to the try line knowing that he's going to bag 4 big ones.
The Broncos are capable of anything when you give them a sniff. Now have a look at here, Kevin Walters. He faked to go wide, then put himself into the hole. Marvellous skills there to get the ball back inside to Renouf. Steve Renouf has got plenty of speed and knows how to use it and take a bow. And isn't he happy about it?
Julian O'Neill. Unsuccessful. So if the kicking boots were on, we would have been looking down the barrel at 50. It is 44-6 here. Brisbane with a big first innings lead. O'Neill. It's still on. Morganson to Khan. If he gets away here, there's trouble. Beautifully picked up by Hoff. He's got Morganson inside. He didn't use him. So no one's leaving. They want another try, the fans here at Lang Park. Will the scrum have time to pack? Nice to be in possession, you would think, from the scrum. Kiss. The Bears came to Brisbane with high hopes. One wonders now if they can recover from this hammering to stay online for the big matches late in September. Toole seemed to cop one around the throat. Martin. Florima. Wilson flicking it back to Kiss. That is all there is. And the Bears out of their misery tonight. Langer was brilliant. All the Broncos were brilliant. Quite a stunning display in attack. You can talk about the missed tackles, but there were some great tries to be witnessed here tonight, all laid on by this Brisbane side. Kevin Walters, Renouf got 4. Kevin Walters, Morganson got a double, Hoff got a try, O'Neill 4 goals for the Bears. Wilson a try, Halligan a goal. That was their 6 points. 44-6 here on Nissan Friday night.